Welcome back. It's the Kovacs Report with another comic book review. And today it's Absolute Batman number 2 from DC, part of the all-in line, written by Scott Snyder with art by Nick Dragotta. Now we've got the credits out the way. Let's jump into it. So, issue 1 was disappointing in my opinion, but I wasn't ready to write off Absolute Batman just yet. So here we are. For me, issue 2 was just like issue 1, a bit of a mixed experience. But, you know, I really, really want to like this book. I want to love it, but it's just trying too hard to be smart, and it's really not working. I like the fact that Alfred is essentially the viewer. We're discovering Bruce and Batman through his eyes, and this, for the most part, works really well. However, everything else, and I mean everything else, just feels like Michael Bay adding explosions to try and cover up that the story itself is pretty thin. So first few pages are a flashback. We get to see Bruce's baptism of bats, as I like to call it, after he's locked in the bat enclosure at the zoo by his father, who in this universe is a teacher. Now, he's taken the kids on a field trip, and unfortunately, he is gunned down protecting them. But for me, this just didn't hit hard at all. It should have hit a lot harder. I mean, I love the fact his father is slumped up against the doors, Bruce is pushing against the other side. That was really cool. You can feel the trauma, you know, and it is a traumatic event. You know, this is what alters Bruce's life forever and ultimately sets him on the path to become Batman. So we do get a beautiful double page spread here. This guy knows how to draw bats, and to be honest, it's the best thing in this book. So moving on. Alfred narrates. In this universe, he's an MI6 agent, and he's been tracking and helping Batman as it not only aligns with his mission, which is to take down the Party Animals gang, who's led by the enigmatic Black Mask, but it also led him to Batman in the first place. More than that, he's growing to admire Bruce and what he does as Batman as we move on to the Gotham Aquarium, where Batman is having a big fight with a group of party animals. Now, Alfred narrates how cool and clever Batman is as the fight goes on. You know, how he's always a few steps ahead, uses the environment to his advantage. But again, this just feels like we really want you to know how cool Batman is. You know what? He's badass. For me, show and tell would have been much more effective here. It's just another example of Snyder trying too hard to get us to go, wow, this is amazing. But to compound on that, he also, you know, shows off some gadgets Batman's got. You know, how cool are his gadgets, and his willingness to use any means necessary as he drops hydrochloric acid into the water to defeat the party animals, you know, and just fry their skin and flesh off. As you can see here, he's hanging over. I mean, again, it all looks pretty cool. The art is really nice. But for me, it just keeps falling flat. Now, I'm not sure if this is supposed to echo traditional Batman's no-killing ethos, but if it is, it's just not working. And if you look at the brutal fight scenes in both issues, his methods look pretty lethal to me, and he seems to be really enjoying it. I mean, Bruce is happy about this. Now, don't get me wrong, I love adult, more grittier, more darker superheroes, but this feels excessively violent for no reason other than to try and impress the reader with how badass Batman is. It's just not working for me at all. There are better ways of doing it. We get more of Alfred telling Batman, just to remind you again of how badass Batman is, in case you forgot. And we get the Michael Bay moment, the big Michael Bay moment, where the party animals have tracked down Bruce's Batcave to kill him, obviously, and he blows it up, and we get this little fire which shapes the Bat Cow. I mean, come on. Anyway, we get a short interlude, as Mayor Gordon is recovering in hospital following the party animals attack from issue 1. After he gets visits from Martha Wayne, Barbara Gordon, Officer Bullock, it's pretty clear Gordon is failing to take down the growing threat of the party animals, and they are running amok through Gotham, causing absolute chaos. He's also quickly losing faith, you know, of the people. They're not trusting him anymore, and everyone thinks his ability to take them down is nearing zero. So he's making it a lot easier for former Mayor Hill to return to power, who naturally has an enigmatic figure backing them. So it's just a bit boring, to be honest. Like, I'm just not excited by any of this whatsoever. Anyway, we jumped on the flashback showing the loss of Bruce's father having a huge effect on his relationship with his mother and also his friends. You know, he shies away. He doesn't want to see them at all. And then eventually we get to the present day, where Bruce has finally met up with his friends. Now, if you've read the first issue, you know that all these friends are future villains. Right, and you know, Snyder tries to be super smart here with some let's say clever dialogue. I don't think it's clever. Well, he gets them to say things which are connected to their supervillain personas, and I just found it, and I hate using this word, cringy, but it really is cringy. Yes, we know who they are, but so why the clever wordplay? You know, it's just sigh-inducing. It could have been done a lot more subtly. Anyways, Bruce, he starts to gently probe his friends for any leads on the party animals. He also drops one of their skull masks on the table, asking if anyone has any information about its design and its origin. Anyway, they have a quick chat, and Harvey Dent reveals that maybe former Mayor Hill's campaign are benefiting from these attacks, hinting that there's some deeper conspiracy. Obviously, there is. We also, at the bottom here, get a Joker card, because it's probably the Joker. I mean, we never saw that coming, did we? Anyway, if it doesn't get any better, I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't get better. As a side note, Bruce himself, and I'm taking into account his traumatic childhood and his life mission, is generally unlikable. I actually don't like him at all. He feels overly moody, too one-dimensional, and I struggle to connect with him or even root for him as the story unfolds. In fact, I'm actually rooting for his enemies. I shouldn't feel that way, but nevertheless, that's how I feel. Anyway, the issue ends with Batman infiltrating Hill's campaign office, only to be ambushed by the party animals, and a slight hint at Arkham Asylum there. Oh dear. It gets worse. Just hang on. It really does get worse. Anyway, the next scene is more laughable than awe-inspiring. Alfred has turned up, right, and Batman realizes they need to escape, and we get the big Michael Bay certified wannabe Frank Miller big reveal, the Batmobile, which I just looked at this and I started laughing. Oh boy, again, it's just too much. Look, Batman's so cool. Please like him. Isn't it so awesome? It just doesn't work. I think it's undermining what Snyder is actually trying to do here. Plus, did he even know he was in the Batmobile? I mean, or was it just as much a surprise to him as it was to me? Either way, for me, it was the final bullet in all my hopes that this book might be something memorable, that it could stand the test of time, be one of those books that we look back on fondly, like Year One, The Killing Joke, Dark Knight Returns. But no, this is not, in my opinion, going to be one of those books. Like I say, the saving grace here is Dragotta's art. And there is one final page, which is a flashback again to Selina Kyle, the future Catwoman, asking if Bruce wants to come out and play. So those are my thoughts. They may enrage some fans out there. Let me know yours in the comments, and I'll see you at the next review. And don't forget to subscribe. I'd really, really appreciate it. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.